Hi, Danielle.
Hi.
So thank you so much for coming back today. I know it's a big step trying to stay in therapy, and I just really want to say that I appreciate you coming back and putting in the work, and I think that's wonderful. I want to remind you that everything you say here is confidential. So as long as you're not talking about harming yourself or others, we're good to go. With that being said, I want to hear from you what it's been like since we last spoke.
Um, Nothing really has changed.
Okay.
Um, it's I kind of feel like I'm in somebody the other day said a hamster wheel, and I feel more like it's like a tornado, and I'm like on the bottom. It's like sweeping over me.
Mm,
Um, and even though I want to make change and I try to make change, it just doesn't seem like anything changes.
okay. All right. That tornado feeling, you said it feels like you're like the tornado is over you. So it's just kind of like pushing you down all the time, huh? That's really hard.
I've had laying on the ground, like holding onto the ground so it doesn't suck me up.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's an overwhelming feeling, for
Mhm.
sure, for sure. Last time we talked about trying to get into, you know, what's causing you to feel this way and having you reach, to use. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about when you mentioned being depressed.
Mhm.
I would really love to explore what that means to you today, if that's okay.
Okay.
So when you say that you get depressed, what happens? What happens in your body?
Well, I just start to feel like I want to run away. And
Okay.
so it's like I start thinking about my kids
Mm,
and that I'm not with them. And I feel like, I feel like a bad mom. And then I start to get sad and then I'll cry. And then it just kind of escalates from there. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to feel this. And that's when I'm just like, okay, well, I can't be with the kids anyway. So I might as well just get rid of it for a little bit. And that's
mm,
typically when I'll pick up.
okay. When do you have like on a scale of like 1 to 10, when those emotions become overwhelming and you want to use, what do they hit? Like what's the scale of like what you can handle and then what you feel like you can't handle?
I think sometimes I can handle it, but if I'm around people that are using or I'm around people that are like, um, you don't have to feel this way, or I think it escalates. I mean, because I don't usually use alone. So I think
Okay.
it escalates more so when I'm with other people.
Okay.
When I'm alone, I just sleep.
You
And I
just
try to
sleep.
just go to sleep because that way I don't get like thinking about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I do just want to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that what you're feeling is really legitimate. You've gone through hell, and you sound like you want to be a good mom so much.
Mhm.
And right now you're separated from your kids, and so it's hard to do that. Um, so these feelings aren't out of nowhere. They're very real and they're very legitimate. And I just want to take a moment to recognize that. Um, because I don't want you to feel like they're coming out of, like, why do I feel this way? It's real. Um, so with that said, I would love to try to break things down a little bit. I know that I know what your grand goal is,
Mhm.
to be with your kids and to be a good mom. What is something that we could do as a first step? So like, let's say, I love this question. The question is like, you go to bed tonight and a miracle happens. And all the problems that you had that are weighing on you are gone. What is the very first thing before you even open your eyes that you notice?
My kids' voices.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
what about
probably my
internally?
before I open my eyes,
Yeah.
I don't think about using because
Okay.
sometimes I'll think about it even before I open
Even
my eyes
before
in the
you
morning. I'll
open
be
your
like,
eyes.
today's going to be another shitty day. I might
Yeah.
as well just wake up and numb it out. So I think that feeling of like that craving would be gone.
The craving. Hmm. How bad does the craving get on like a average day?
Um, a lot of times I don't have a lot to do on a day where I have like things that I have to get done or places I have to go. It's not as bad, but when I'm like when my boyfriend doesn't work, when he's home and like he's using and I'm just sitting around, like that's when it's just like a 10. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just like my mind takes over and it just goes from like 0 to 60. But when I feel more like I've got something to do, it's less. It's like,
Okay.
like a 5,
All right.
but it's always there.
Always. Well, I don't know how quickly we can say that it's going to be,
Mhm.
that is a big process. And I don't want you
Yeah.
to feel like if we don't get it in the next 5 sessions, that we even lower the craving, that you're failing because that's not how it works. But what we can do is try to work on skills that will help you, you know, make it a little bit lower, make the craving lower, or give you just distract you from it. If you're open to that.
I'm absolutely open to it. I'll try anything,
Yeah, I
honestly.
want to get to the bottom of what about the depression and the drug use. Which one do you think came first?
Definitely the depression. I mean, it started when I was young because my mom left when I was like 2.
Okay.
And my dad like did the best he could, but I was out on my own at like 15.
Wow.
And so like my mom's just never, she didn't want me. She's never been around. So it started when I was young and it's always kind of overshadowed everything.
Foreshadowed, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's amazing that, you know, you have such a strong desire to be a good mom when you didn't have one. That's really I applaud your strength. I really do. And I would love to, I just feel like what you're dealing with, beyond substance use here is this depression. And it sounds like when you are busy, you're okay. Your mind is active, but when you're not physically engaged in something,
Mhm.
what is your mind doing?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I start to think about my kids and then I
Yeah.
just use, and then I think about nothing. Um,
So
and I'm like, feel like I'm like,
when you're not doing anything, you start thinking about your kids.
yeah, yeah, all the time. And I
Okay.
feel like I'm like my mom because like my kids aren't with me. So I'm like
Mm,
repeating, I didn't want to leave my kids. I didn't want my kids to be taken away, but like I can't stop. And until I do, they're not going to let me see them.
yeah. Now, I want to ask a really hard question.
Okay.
Do you think that right now, while you're having such a hard time with addiction, that they are in a better place?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And I
we,
know they miss me too, but I'm glad
yeah.
that they're where they are. Yeah.
So we know that they're safe.
Yes.
Um, so I think that's something to hold on to
Oh, definitely. I'm very
as you work
lucky.
forward, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause that's I don't know, that's one of the hardest things I feel like is the not knowing if someone's safe. So when you think about your kids,
Mhm.
maybe what we could try is a reframe.
Okay.
Um, because right now it sounds like when you think about your kids, you get all this guilt that comes up and you start to feel
Mhm.
worse and worse and worse until you feel like you have to use. What if
Yeah.
we could think of your kids and equate them with safety? I know it sounds a little bit far-fetched, to like just be like, oh, I'm going to change the way I think. So I don't want you to think that like I'm expecting you to do this right away.
Okay.
Um, but I think it's a great step in the right direction. How do you feel
I think
about it?
so too. I think so too. I mean, I have to write it down and like tape it on my fridge. The
Yeah,
kids are in a
yeah, that
safe
would be a great
place.
idea. That's a great idea to tape it on the fridge. And you know, how do you do with like stillness?
Not good.
Not good. Yeah.
No, because I'm I felt like my role is going to be their mom,
Yeah.
and I have like no role now that they're gone.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Which just kind of makes the depression, I guess, worse because then I just am like floating around out here with like no purpose at all.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I'm, using math. So it's just like just keeps going like that. And I'm
Yeah.
tired of it. I don't want to do it anymore.
I hear you. I hear you.
Thank you.
And I feel like what the meth is a coping mechanism.
Mhm.
Does that feel accurate to you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it would be great if we could reframe the mind so that when you think of your children, you're thinking of safety and not guilt. That you feel a sense of my children are safe and not a guilty feeling. And beyond that, I think some coping skills would be great. Are you open to trying to learn some different coping skills? I know last time we talked about some grounding
Mhm.
and you've had some experience with the breathing exercises.
Right. I'm open to any suggestions. I'll like I said, I'm at this point I'll do anything. I, was told like I'm not going to be able to necessarily stop using until I find out what started it and deal with that. So that's why I came in.
Yeah. And I would love to get into that with you, but I want to make sure that we do it safely. So I feel like the coping skills would be a great place to start.
Okay.
Because as we dig, some realizations may come up, and I don't want you to feel like you have to use to protect yourself from those feelings.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, because when I even talk about my mom, I start sweating and I get very uncomfortable,
Yeah.
pissed off,
Yeah.
and I definitely have to put something else in place or I'm going to just go home and, you know, so I don't want
Yeah.
to do that.
Right. Right.
I,
And I would just like to ask you, to if you see the difference between what your mom did and you. Do you see the difference?
I do see the difference. I mean, I didn't choose to leave my kids.
Right.
And I finally, have accepted this as an illness and not something that I chose. But my mom chose to leave. So
She
there's a
did.
huge difference. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
So I'm glad that you see that and can recognize that because that's a great step, I think. Just to realize that you are not her.
no, I do. I definitely do.
Good. Very good. So for next time, I would like to put some coping skills together that
Okay.
we try. We'll try a few of them out together.
Okay.
if one doesn't work, if you're like, oh, that doesn't, I don't want it to feel hokey, that
Okay.
like I want it to feel like it's sincere and that you can get behind it. Um, and and then if you're open to homework, what we'll
Okay.
do is I'll have you take some of the coping skills and try them when you don't need them.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
you're feeling
Oh, I'm
like,
good with that.
yeah, so that so that maybe when you do need them, they'll come more easily.
Okay.
And and then they can be effective for you.
Awesome.
So what's one thing that we could do for you this week? What's one step that we can take in the right direction, you think?
Uh, just go to my groups consistently. I think I need to, if I'm there every day, I have
Yeah.
that place to go. And I haven't been going consistently,
Okay.
you know. I mean, it took everything just to get here today. So, but now like I want to come back because I do want the coping skills. So I'm gonna try to get there every day and just make more of an effort because I know that, you know, if I work on stuff here, I actually that has to be worked on just as much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how would it be if I gave you homework this week to go to your groups
That
consistently this week?
okay.
And I will help keep you accountable for that. Does that feel comfortable to you?
It does, definitely. It
Okay.
actually might help. So,
Great. So the next time we meet, you'll tell me about the meetings and we'll talk about coping skills
okay.
and we'll just check in and just and see how things are going. Okay.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and working so hard.
Thank you again.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.